This Sign Warehouse tutorial will show you how to set up your Vinyl Express cutter in Production Manager so that it will respond to jobs sent from your LXI software. Now today we're setting up an R31, and you'll find that the basic idea of ports will be the same for all devices, but some of the steps may change a little depending on which machine you're operating. So if you're setting up something other than an R series, you might want to search our tech site for other videos and other articles. You see I have the site listed right here, and we do try to update it regularly, so please check back often. Now at this point you should have already downloaded and installed your software and the R series drivers. You also want to make sure that your cutter is powered on and connected to your computer. Now we want to see what port our cutter is on. That is, which port has your computer assigned to communicate to the cutter. To do that, we need to look in Device Manager. Now on most computers, it's as simple as coming over here to the bottom left corner. Here we'll click the Start button, and then come here and right-click Computer or My Computer, depending on what version of Windows you're running. After right-clicking, we want to click Manage. And voila, we're in Device Manager. Now if you're using Windows 8, don't panic if you're not seeing the same options. While you don't have a Start button in the bottom left corner, you can still hover to that area and right-click, and when you do, Device Manager will be one of your options. So now we're in Device Manager and we see the Ports category. We're going to expand that, and we see that our cutter shows up as a USB serial port on COM2. Now yours may be COM1 or COM2, 3, 4, and so on. Just make sure that you remember what COM port is showing in Device Manager. Now that we have this information, we're ready to set up the cutter in Production Manager. Now Production Manager should be one of two icons placed on your desktop when you installed the software, and the other one of course being LXI. We'll be using that in a moment, but right now we're going to Production Manager, and for time purposes I already have it minimized at the bottom. Now if it's your first time to enter Production Manager, the program may start asking you what you want to set up, but since I've already had my software open, I'm going to go up to the top toolbar and click Setup, and then Add Setup. Now the first question is, what is the brand of your vinyl cutter? And for that we'll select Vinyl Express. The second field asks which model we're using from Vinyl Express. That would be the R31. New software will say R Series 2 R31. Let's click Next. So the field asks, what do you want to call your cutter? And you can name it whatever you want, but I'm going to leave mine as R31. And finally, the field that really matters. Now I say that because we hear from users all the time that are experiencing communication problems from the computer to the cutter, and the majority of the time it's because they didn't have the correct port selected here in Production Manager. Now you'll notice that its default is to COM1, but we seldom see that cutter truly show up on COM1 in Device Manager. So it needs to be changed, and you'll remember our cutter showed up on COM2. So we'll select COM2, and then we're going to click Finish, leaving everything else at default. Now I want to check our cutter communication, so I'm going to open my LXI design software, and I'm just going to send a quick test job. And so come over here to the text tool and maybe just type the word test. Now I want to come up here to my top toolbar and look for this icon that looks like a little blade. It launches both Production Manager and the Cut Plot screen. And now we're in the Cut Plot screen. Notice my cuttable object is outlined here in my Cut Plot preview, right here outlined in red. And before I send this job, I want to come here to the top and see where we're sending it. And it does say that we're sending it to the R31 on COM2. And that's what I want. And so I click Send, and at that point you should hear the unmistakable sound of your R Series cutter. I hope this tutorial was helpful. Remember, you can find more helpful videos and articles on our tech support site.